Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. It's John and Heather here. Happy
Good
Monday.
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, yeah. Good morning. How was your weekend, Heather?
It was good. You know what? I just spent some time relaxing, getting out for some sunshine, uh,
Mm.
actually meeting some neighbors because everyone was outside and walking. And yeah, it felt really good. How about yours, John?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good weekend. You're right. Neighbors were out. The weather was good. The neighbors across the street from me were having their own tailgating party before the big game yesterday. So that was, I'm like, oh, that really happens on the street. Like, so they had
Yes.
barbecue, and I'm like, I'm gonna go over there, grab myself a sandwich and a glass of wine. Right? It was so
That's
close. It was
awesome.
so close. But yeah, no, it was just a great weekend just to, enjoy the weather. Like, it's one of those
Mm,
things, like, we're into February. Tomorrow's February the 14th. Does anybody know
yep.
what that day that is? Um, but it was just nice. It was just really good. It was really, and I thought a lot about what we talked about last week too. Like, all those things kind of sat with me. Thought about celebrations all weekend long as well. It was just a fun weekend. Fun weekend, but it's like they just disappear on you, right? Like, they just go like this show, right? Like, in 20 minutes we're gone. The
So
weekend feels
quick.
like it's a 20-minute thing, right? And it's boom, it's gone. It's crazy how quick that all kind of comes together. So today we are going to talk about love in the spirit of Valentine's tomorrow. Is it Valentine's Day? We're going to talk about love in the workplace, love in the different things that we do in and around our world. And I love this topic because I remember, and actually, where this sits with me and where this resonated with me was when I did a podcast. I don't know if you remember, I did a podcast with you many, many, many moons ago. And we were talking about love in the workplace. Is it
Okay.
appropriate to say love? Right?
Oh,
Like, can you,
yes.
right? We talked about that. I'm like, is it really appropriate given, where we are now? That I think that was in 2019 when we did that interview. And now that we're here in 2023, is it okay? Is it okay to say, I love working here, I love working with you, I love the things that we do together? Like, is that still okay in the workplace?
It's an interesting conversation. I love the word love. I think it has just such a comforting, meaningful, in an appropriate setting way, right? So, but because it's also used as a very intimate relationship, it does have this boundary around it. But when we love what we do, when we love the people we work with, when we love the passion that we bring to the workplace, and when we see those attributes in other people, I think it's completely appropriate to say that that is making an impact. And one of the ways to do that is to say, I love this about you. You show up every day with amazing energy, and I just love it.
Mm.
It's contagious. Like, imagine your boss said that to you. How would the rest of your day go if that's what your boss said? And instead, the boss sounds like, maybe it's at the end of the year review. It's like, well, you bring your passion to everything you do. Really? That doesn't sound very passionate at all. And oh, by the way, you waited till the end of the year, so I have no idea what example you have, where that showed up for you, where you saw it. So, when we give feedback, it's really good to give real-time feedback, that we're strong components for that. But also, why can't we use the word love in an appropriate way? And there's so many ways to show love and demonstrate love. And there's I just think that it's a word that is unused or underutilized in the workplace.
Yeah, no, and I think you touched on an incredibly important point there. Just showing appreciation for the people that you're with, right? Like, how many times do we, I remember, and I don't know if this is one of the things that made me stood out. But going into the office every morning and just acknowledging the people around you. Like,
Mhm.
it's such a simple thing, right? A lot of these things are simple, right? Like, they're so simple that we don't put enough energy into them, and we don't express it, we don't share it, we don't let people know, hey, good morning. How was your weekend? Have a genuine interest in the other person. Have be interested in what they're telling you too, right? Like how many people I've seen it, people come in, hey, how's your weekend? And as you're speaking to them and trying to keep eye contact with them, and they're already thinking about, what the rest of the day is going to look like. Like, take a minute. Like, that's all it really takes. It, it only takes a minute to show appreciation, concern, empathy, all those things inside of the workplace. You don't have to, you don't have to sit somebody down for lunch. You don't have to take them out for coffee. 2 to 3 minutes of just attention, right? Like active listening, where you're just really listening in on what they're saying and having an appreciation for that. Like that's a great way to show love in the workplace. Dude, I know we're having an exciting morning here at my place today.
Your coworkers are making a ruckus, are they?
Oh, all my coworkers are making a ruckus.
I love it.
Oh,
The
this
other
turned so
thing
red.
too, the other thing to think about is, what's the energy that you want to bring to your team, to your coworkers? Because, oftentimes there's this badge of honor that people have for being busy and for going to back meetings. And, you talk to someone, you're like, hey, how's your day going? And they're like, oh my God, and they download all of this stuff that's not working.
Mm.
And when we love what we do, when we love making an impact, that's not what the starting point of the conversation is. So when you lead with love, you actually have an opportunity to change the perception of people around you, to teach them how to have a conversation about celebration, about what they're
Mm.
working on, what they're proud of. So questions like, what are you most proud of this week? Or what's using all your strengths? What project this week is using all your strengths at work? And like that question's like, what? Using my strengths? Whoa, I never thought of it that way. So, that's how you can actually change someone's perception to be thinking about what do they love about their job, as opposed to, what's causing them stress and anxiety. And the curious questions is so important. But I don't see people using this word enough. I really don't. It's just almost a taboo, and we've got to change that. We've got to change the taboo-ness of this.
Yeah. No, it's taking a second, right? Like just you're right, we both experience this, people in the workplace running to and fro, and it's like, well, wait a minute, like, what do you love? Like, what's the best part of your day so far?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, what are you enjoying? How are you? I think about our mission in terms of what we're trying to do, impact 1 million people this year. What's the one thing you're doing today? What's the one thing you've done so far that has created impact in another person?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And how can you continue that? Right? Like, I think a big part of it is just an acknowledgement, just being able to see that it's there and to be able to just recognize that you are right. Like, and this is why I love the celebration piece. This is what we talked about on Friday. The celebration piece is so important because it just allows you to see progress that you're making. And I know it sounds
Mm.
like such a simple activity, but it's so impactful. It's so profound. It's so meaningful because you get to see it in a different way. You get to see it in the people around you. If you can make one person smile in the office, I think that to me is success, right? Like somebody who's just like, running back and forth, going, doing the thing that they need to do, hopping in and out of sessions, doing their work and the heads down. Like they never get up for air, right? Like just, hey, I just want to I acknowledge you in the effort that you're putting in today.
Well, here's a
Cool.
perfect example,
Yeah.
and I'm sure people have been in this situation where they're brainstorming new ideas, they're putting together their quarterly plan, and there's people in the meeting that are sort of the naysayers or bringing the problems to light and why it won't work. And a lot of times that's because the positioning, the priming of that meeting has not happened in a powerful and loving way. And so starting with the celebration, or what are we most proud of? What do we love about what we're doing right now, the impact we're making? If you start with those questions and have everyone brainstorm, you're priming their brain, and this is a process, to
Mhm.
think about what's good about this. And then when you ask them to brainstorm for the future, they're going to bring that priming forward. and they're going to not be as like naysayers are naysayers. So they're still going to show up, but you'll be able to counteract that with, but we just said, look at what we were proud of that we accomplished. Look at how far we've come. And so if you want to have a more powerful brainstorming session about the future, spend time thinking about what are we most proud of, what have we accomplished in the past. And that way, when people are in the present moment in that meeting, you can revector their energy towards the positiveness. And that's a
Yeah.
really good process to do.
Yeah, no, I love that. I know we've talked about priming on another episode. We'll have to link it below because I think it's so important when you prime or you set yourself up for a successful situation, you get a different type of outcome and result. And
Mm-hmm.
we're big on this, right? Like it's one of the things that we implement when we do our master classes, when we do our online sessions, when we do our masterminds as well. Priming and putting yourself into what Tony Robbins would call peak state, or even Benjamin Hardy, peak state gets you into a different frame frame of mind, a different type of mindset that puts you into a powerful, confident state. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're coming from that place, having those discussions, what's going to work? What about this can we make work? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
what about this doesn't work? Like it's just, even those that are out there going after new business and going after new clients, what can I do to be better to serve my clients more powerfully? Like
Mm-hmm.
just that is a question. It's like, ooh, instead of why is it so difficult to find clients?
There's
Right?
a Oh,
Right? There's a
absolutely.
shift in a mindset. I just want good morning, Gunjan. I know you're there. I just wanted to acknowledge you for listening this morning. Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
Oh, I just wanted to share a great resource. So there's a book by Marcus Buckingham that is called Love and Work. And actually, I took his Harvard course recently that is all in the book. And what he's doing is, what are your passions? How do you decode what your strengths are, and then bring them as a powerful expression into the workplace? And then if you're bringing that to the workplace, then no matter what your job is, you're feeling on purpose, you're feeling passionate, you're playing to your strengths. And I remember a time back when I was a new leader and I was overwhelmed. I was really, really struggling with, what's my purpose for this job? And I didn't feel like I was being successful at all. And I actually did this process that Marcus talks about in his book. I did an assessment of what's my unique skills that I bring to the table? What is it that is going to make the biggest impact on others? And that's where I came up with my concept, John, of positively impacting 5 people a
Mm,
day. It was because I was measuring my success like everyone else, which was my email box was empty, and I'd gotten my crazy to-do list done, and that was not like reading emails is not on anyone's job description, by the way. And so I revectored what my day-to-day activity looked like, and the most important thing became to positively impact 5 people a day. And John, I swear to God, that decision that I made probably in my 20s, I think catapulted my career like so quickly after that, because I then went looking for who can I positively impact today. And when you do that, you're looking for the goodness in people. You're looking for the
mm,
attributes that you love about them, and you're able to articulate it in words that they've never heard before. I'm not kidding when I say, imagine your boss came up to you today and said, John, I just want to tell you how amazing it is when you are on purpose at work, because it's contagious. And the example that was there was just today when you said this and this in a meeting. Like
wow.
you're me like, whoa, like I can repeat that every single day. So that is the one change that I made years ago that has never left me. And it's the simplest thing. And anyone can do this. Find 5 people today, find one person today, but find 5 people in the week. And then it can get daily. And then you can do even more. Who can you positively impact by telling them what you love about them, telling them their strengths that you see, and letting them know that how you value their relationship. And this is, of course, both at home and at work, but we're talking about in the workplace. Felicia is saying that John, you won a speech contest. Hello, what's going on? I don't know about this.
Sorry, I know I didn't mention it yet. Well,
Oh, tell us
I
more, Felicia. Thank you for
I
spilling the beans.
I don't really take time to celebrate my own stuff sometimes, right? Like I forget. I know. Listen, I'm human. I can do that, right? Yes, I competed in a speech contest on Friday night. I made it to the next round, so I'm going within the Toastmaster community. You go from club, area, division, and then you go to district, which is pretty much all of, I think it's most of southwestern Ontario. Anyways, so but it's within the theme and the concept of what we talk about every day, which is around saying yes, right? Like, how do you, the title of my speech is three words, sorry, three letters, one word that can change your life. That's the title of my speech. So, and it's really around, anyways, I don't want to give it away because I still got to compete, go to the next level. And, but yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to be able to spread the message. I know our vision is to impact a million people. And this is just one of those channels in terms of how I get to do that. And the more people I get to share the message with, the more impact I get to have. We talked about impacting, you talked about impacting 5 people. Yeah, my speech competition is the way. I forget how many people were on the call. I think it was like 15 or 20 people that were on that call. And yeah, so now I'm taking it to the next level. Got to do some tweaks. There's a bit of work. I'm not completely happy with it, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, no, it was a great opportunity to continue to spread the message that we're spreading here. So
Okay, John,
yeah.
I need this is a moment of coaching that's coming, right? So we teach,
Hey,
celebrate your successes. And
yes.
look at you just, oh, it's not perfect. Oh, I got to tweak it. And yes, those are all true statements. And you did it and you were amazing. And, I want to take you back on a little journey where I remember there was a day where you said, I'm going to make a video every single day for 365 days. Remember that? And I looked at you, I thought, okay, you go do that. And if you go back and look at your videos from back then to now, you have massively shifted in your language, in your confidence, in your eye contact with the camera, all of the things that now, have you winning at building these speeches, winning in Toastmasters, influencing people on our LinkedIn live show, all because you made a choice a few years back to make an impact. So, this choice of making an impact on others, and actually that was your intent. It was not for yourself. You want to be a better speaker, but it was to impact others.
Impact.
It's always a bigger purpose than wanting to do it for your own self and your ego. So think about, what's your why? What's the reason that you want to do the things that you want to do? And when are you most passionate? And those are the reasons that you show love in the workplace. Those are the reasons that you celebrate successes. This is why we celebrate you, John, today, because I love that you have made these choices in your life to impact the world. And this is just another example, a small example of how even when you're still in it, you want to tweak it and make it even better and better and better. So that is,
Yeah, no, thank you.
Thank you for that, John. I am
Yeah, no.
to see that growth.
Thank you. And you're right. So listen, we're all works in progress. I'm still one of those, I call it WIPs. I'm a whip. So I am a work in progress still. And yes, you're right. Sorry. I did write it down because I journaled this weekend and I wrote down that was one of my successes for the week because, I captured it. So I did capture it there. I just never shared it and I kept it to myself. And I'm like, why am I doing that? One of the things we talk about here is go share what you're doing, go share your wins with people because it's so it's okay, Felicia, you took it off track. But I think this is a great lesson.
She didn't. No, she did not take it off track. That is exactly what needed to happen because this is like real time coaching live. Like I love that is exactly where we needed to go. And in fact, Felicia, we love to listen to the audience because where we need to go is always where we need to go. So that's exactly what needed to happen in this session because Felicia, I was talking to John earlier this morning and he never shared that. So yes, we got to call out what's missing.
So just 2 points. I know we only got like 2 minutes left, but one thing you talked about earlier that I really want to focus on is the lens that you're bringing to the world, right? And when you share love, you're bringing it from a different lens because you're seeing the good around you. You're seeing the good in people. You're seeing the good, whether it's on the chat, like you're seeing things that you typically wouldn't see because you're bringing love into those situations. So like where that focus is really on the good. And I love that because it's really around just shifting your lens a little bit to say, you know what? Yeah, I love what you're doing. You start to see the good in people.
Well,
And
because your
right now,
perception drives your
your
thoughts
perception.
and your actions. So if you bring love from that perception, believe
Mhm.
me, your next decisions and the next words you say are going to be completely different. So that
Yeah,
is our invitation, right? Today,
yeah,
our call to
and the
action.
our call to action, go share some love with people. And the other part is when you do that, you're stepping outside of yourself and it's no longer about you. Right. And I
Mm,
think you touched on an incredibly important point. As I've done these speech competitions before and I've never felt the way I feel now because it's not about me. Right.
mm-hmm,
These speeches, and thank you, Felicia, for bringing that up because the speech isn't about me. The speech is around making impact. And that's what I
mm-hmm.
take into the room with me when I deliver that speech. So think about as you're sharing these compliments, or as you're sharing and focusing on the good in people, you're making that impact. It's no longer about you. When we talk about servant leadership, is one of the themes that we talk about quite a bit. And when you do that, you step outside of you. That's how you do it. You see it
Mm-hmm.
in others, and it's not like you're not attached to whether or not they're going to accept it or see it the way you see it. You're just going to send it out there and just let people appreciate that.
That's
And I
right.
think
That's
that
right.
is so important. So I just wanted to leave it there. I think two great lessons. So the takeaway today, go share some love. And actually, we would appreciate and be grateful if you shared a little bit of love on this episode and other episodes. We do have all of our episodes now being uploaded to your favorite podcast platform. We would love it if you could share a little love and just share the message with two friends, which is how we get to grow and build our impact and hitting 1 million people. All
I
right,
love
good.
it.
Valerie's saying she's love it. I literally have been thinking about the exact same message recently. That's awesome. So let's go out there. Let's go spread a little love. Let's go
Let's
spread
do
a
it.
little love to the world. And thank you again for tuning in. We're a little bit over time, but we're going to wish everyone an amazing day, and we'll be back on Wednesday.
And
Take
happy
care, everybody.
Valentine's Day tomorrow. Bye,
Happy
everyone.
Valentine's. Happy Valentine's Day. Take care.